Common Mistakes in English, Lesson 7. Topic: Weather. Part 2. Exercise 1. Rewrite each statement using whether or not. Example: Jennifer asks, "Should I take a sweater?" You rewrite, Jennifer doesn't know whether or not she should take a sweater. Other possible answers are, Jennifer doesn't know whether she should take a sweater or not. Jennifer doesn't know whether she should take a sweater. Number 1. Jennifer asks, "Does the black sweater go with the green skirt?" Answer: Jennifer wants to know whether or not the black sweater goes with the green skirt. It's also possible to say, Jennifer wants to know whether the black sweater goes with the green skirt. Or not at the very end of the sentence is not incorrect, but a little awkward. Number 2. Jennifer's husband asks, "Do I need to wear a tie to the party?" Answer: Jennifer's husband wonders whether or not he needs to wear a tie to the party. It's also possible to say, Jennifer's husband wonders whether he needs to wear a tie to the party. Again, or not can go at the end of the sentence, but it might be a little awkward. Number 3. Jennifer's husband asks, "Do you think Claudia and Eric will be at the party?" Answer: Jennifer's husband is curious about whether or not Claudia and Eric will be at the party. Other possible answers are, Jennifer's husband is curious about whether Claudia and Eric will be at the party or not. Jennifer's husband is curious about whether Claudia and Eric will be at the party. Note: whether or not can express uncertainty about two alternatives, two choices. Here are phrases from this exercise that showed the speaker's uncertainty. Doesn't know whether, wants to know whether, wonders whether, curious about whether. Let me explain more. When we express uncertainty, whether can be replaced by if, as long as it's not before an infinitive or after a preposition. So you can go back in this exercise and change all your answers from whether to if, except for the last one. Listen. Doesn't know if she should take a sweater, wants to know if the sweater goes with it, wonders if a tie is necessary, but curious about whether they will be there. Now here's bonus question 4. It's different from the first 3, and your clue is that you're dealing with 3, not 2 alternatives. Jennifer says, "We have fun when we go out no matter what we do, visiting friends, seeing a movie, or trying a new restaurant." How can you rewrite that statement using whether? Answer: Jennifer and her husband have fun whether they visit friends, see a movie, or try a new restaurant. Are you a little confused about that last statement? Don't worry, I'll help you understand. First, let me clarify and tell you that whether or not expresses 2 or more possible alternatives. In our example, we said that they have fun whether they do the first, the second, or the third alternative. Now, a lot of the times we use the word whether to express only 2 alternatives or 2 choices, but it is possible to express more. Next, let me remind you that there is a second use of whether. It means no matter what. Whether or not can express that the result will be the same no matter which of the alternatives happens or is chosen. In our example, we said they have fun whether they visit friends, see a movie, or try a new restaurant. So no matter which of these alternatives is chosen, they will have fun. We're not talking about uncertainty, but rather that something will happen no matter what. Exercise 2. Correct the mistake. Example: Please ask me for help whether you need it. This is incorrect. The correction is, please ask me for help if you need it. Remember that sometimes we can use if or whether in a sentence and it doesn't change the meaning, but we cannot use whether in conditional statements. Number 1. Marilla wondered whether she should stay up late and study or not to. The correction is, Marilla wondered whether she should stay up late and study or not. Remember, the expression is whether or not. The to is unnecessary here. Number 2. At the previous meeting, Mr. Wilson initiated a discussion about if the company should downsize or decrease employees' salaries. The correction is, at the previous meeting, Mr. Wilson initiated a discussion about whether the company should downsize or decrease employees' salaries. We're talking about uncertainty here. There are two alternatives, but we cannot use if after the preposition about. We must use whether. Also, even if we had the choice, whether would be more appropriate because this is a very formal statement. The language is formal. Number 3. Whether or not Ben keeps his job or loses it will be decided by the company's ability to maintain sales. Without enough sales, they cannot afford to pay his salary. The correction is, whether Ben keeps his job or loses it will be decided by the company's ability to maintain sales. Without enough sales, they cannot afford to pay his salary. In this statement, there are two alternatives and they are clearly stated, so you cannot use or not. You could say, whether or not Ben keeps his job will be decided by the company's ability to maintain sales. But you cannot use whether or not and clearly state those two alternatives. You need to choose. Number 4. I know you don't like this dress, but I'm going to wear it if you like it or not. Correction. I know you don't like this dress, but I'm going to wear it whether you like it or not. This statement does not express any kind of uncertainty. We need whether to express no matter what. Now some of you may still be confused about when we can omit or leave out or not. So let me explain a little more. You can omit or not when the other alternative is implied or clearly understood. For example, I wonder whether Claudia and Eric will be at the party. The first alternative, they will be at the party. The second alternative, they won't be at the party. The second alternative isn't stated, but it's clearly implied, so we can leave out or not. When we want to say that the result will be the same no matter which of two alternatives happens or is chosen, we use or not. Then whether or not means regardless or no matter what. Here are some examples in which or not must be included. I'm going to wear the dress whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, I'm going to wear the dress. She's going to the party whether you want her to or not. Whether you want her to or not, she's going to the party. Watch and listen again to my opening talk. Pay attention to my use of whether and if. And let's see how much better you understand now.
Right now I'm going to give you a look into my bedroom closet. As you can see, it's a double closet. I have one side and my husband has the other. But I have more clothes than he does, so whether he likes it or not, I use his side of the closet too. But actually, the only thing my husband complains about is that I have some things that are very old and out of fashion. It's true, I have sweatshirts that are at least 10 years old. But if you take care of things, they can last a long time, right? One problem I have is deciding what to wear for special events. For example, it's hard to decide whether to wear dress pants, like these, or a skirt. And when you don't know if it will be warm or cool, you ask yourself, should I take a sweater? Will the sweater go with my skirt? Okay, so maybe these are doubts that only women experience. But don't men face fashion dilemmas? Sometimes? I think they do. Don't you guys sometimes need a minute to decide whether you should put on a tie for a special event? And then if you choose to wear a tie, I think you need another minute or two to choose the color. I think we all want to dress nicely, whether it's to impress others or simply feel good about the way we look.
Weather can also be used in reported or indirect speech. We've touched upon it briefly in this lesson, but we could make it the topic of a future lesson.
Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching and happy studies.